If you want a beautiful garden in fall, winter, and spring, there's a few flowers you should plant right now. Chip and I are here at Green Hills Nursery, and we're going to show you what flowers are great for any garden and landscape. And most importantly, which ones not to plant in the fall because they won't survive the winter. Okay, Chip, look at this. First thing, we come across this beautiful Dianthus, and Dianthus is a good cool season annual. You can plant it in the fall. If you get it going in the fall, it'll bloom in the winter and the early spring. Hot summer weather makes this look terrible. Depending on how hot your summer is, they'll survive through the summer and you could treat it as a perennial. In our area, it's more of an annual because it's so darn hot. So this is red Dianthus, and Dianthus comes in quite a few colors, dark purplish that we saw, and white even. You can plant it in the full sun. It doesn't really tolerate shade very well. The color you choose is depending on your design style. You know, you can mix them and have all kinds of colors. I would probably pick one or two colors just because I like to do massing of colors, but there's not a right way and a wrong way. Most of these plants will look good in the fall and the winter. Lavender really won't, but lavender is really good to plant now if you want it to just start blooming like crazy in the spring, early spring. It isn't inappropriate to use, but you're not going to get that color like you're going to get with a lot of the plants we're going to show you, where you can actually get them going when the weather's still a little bit warm now, and then they could possibly bloom right through the winter, depending on your climate, and into the spring. So we got a beautiful flat of cyclamen here, which is great for fall and winter and early spring. And there's a lot of interesting colors that they have here. And this is one of the plants that grows good in shade and blooms like crazy in shade. Hard to find annuals that bloom in the shade. And if you plant it early enough, get it some sunlight, get it some warmth in the fall, you could have color in the right climate in the middle of the winter. The other plant that does good in shade in the winter is primrose. And here we've got all kinds of primroses. Unfortunately, none of them are blooming, but primrose is another excellent fall, winter, early spring shade plant. So this one's great for a fall planting. Very uniquely, you can almost plant it any time of the year, still plant it as an annual, but it'll take hot weather, it'll take cold weather, and it's an old-fashioned plant that you probably saw at your grandmother's house, and that's snapdragon. Comes in many different colors. So it's an annual that fits the description of what we're talking about today. You can plant it now, get it some warm weather, get it to start blooming, and it'll look good right through the winter, and then it's fantastic in the spring. I see a lot of really useful and great annual bedding plants back here, the kind that we want to plant this time of the year. All this stock here is just starting to bloom. You don't want to get them where they look like they're at the tail end of their bloom. You want to get them where they're just starting to bloom and you can see buds, and that'll continue right through if you plant them properly. Use a lot of blend and penetrate on it, get them going real quickly. That's exactly the kind of plant we want to use. This is the prototypical fall, winter, early spring annual that you plant now, plant densely. It takes off, it starts blooming. It could bloom right through the fall and winter and spring. You can get calendula in orange like this. You can see the other ones over there in yellow, just starting to bloom. I like to plant them that way when they're just starting to bloom and aren't covered in blooms yet. And then on our other side, more of the same kind of thing. Alyssum you could plant now and it'll bloom right through the cool weather. And you can see it comes in purple or white. Alyssum has the advantage of also attracting a lot of beneficials and important beneficials. I like to use alyssum almost in every garden. This is an overlooked annual that really makes a nice border, and it does great all spring. People call it different things. I think most people call it pallidosum. It's actually a type of chrysanthemum. So white with an orange center, kind of a tight controlled growth. Really nice annual for the fall, winter, and very early spring. It doesn't get that tall. What do they consider it? 8 inches. So that's nice to have something that, stays at 8 inches You can plant things behind it that are taller. Paludosum is a really nice kind of underused fall, winter, early spring annual. For more color, you can use flowering cabbages, which, get more spectacular after they're planted for a while. So the ornamental cabbage has deep red centers, all vegetative growth, but really colorful and pretty long lasting. It does get 15 to 18 inches tall. You need to keep that in mind. That cabbage is pretty good size, over a foot tall. One of my favorites is Iceland poppies, and Iceland poppies are beautiful. Time to plant them right now. If you plant them now, they'll start blooming, and they'll bloom all through the winter and the spring. They want sun. You can see one is starting to bloom here. I would buy them like this. As long as they look healthy and they have one or two flowers, that means more are coming. I don't like it when they're already in full bloom. I'm looking for flowers that maybe you see the hint of what's to come. One that's really popular and comes in all different kinds of colors, and maybe the most popular winter annual are pansies. Really vibrant colors, purple, yellow, and white with purple. There's probably 500 different varieties of pansies, and the individual nurseries sell the ones they like the best. Pretty easy to grow. They need sun. This is not something you're going to plant in the shade. Again, we can get it looking good in the fall, we can get them blooming. That's kind of the key. If you wait till it's cold and you plant pansies, it's probably not going to do much till the spring. But if you plant them now while we still have some warmth and get them going, get them rooted, you can have flowers fall, winter, and spring. Look at this selection. You can tell what's the biggest selling winter annual by how many they have. These are violas, just like a pansy, but dwarf. You take care of them the same way, have a lot of nice colors. They're not quite as vigorous, a little more delicate, but same thing, full sun, get them growing now, use blend, use penetrate, and they'll take off and bloom for you for quite a while. There are certain annuals that you should not plant now. Don't go to the nursery and buy these. It's a trick. Zinnias are for the spring and the summer, and will not do well in the winter. Cold weather kills them. So all the salvias, these are more things you wouldn't plant now. Cold weather knocks them back. This isn't something that'll look good in the winter. This is going to be just spring and summer color. It's vinca. Vinca the annual is a great example, classic example of one not to plant in the fall. When you get cold weather, powie, it's gone. So we use it as an annual that we remove about now and replace with something that'll bloom in the fall and the winter and early spring. They've planted a bunch of begonias here. Begonias are more summer annuals, and they planted these a while ago and they're blooming, but they're going to have to change these for fall and winter. Because they have these pineapple guava, they'll be using an annual that does well in the shade. If you want to learn more about what you should and shouldn't do in the fall, check out this video here.